So in summary, what are the three components of a good photograph? Light, composition, and the technical. Okay. All right, what about the light?
Behind you.
Behind you, understanding it, controlling it. Golden hours. What are the golden hours? Yeah, sunset, an hour or so. I meant, around sunrise, and an hour or so sunset. Okay. So outside tips. Do you remember just one or two outside tips?
Sun behind you.
Yeah, sun behind you. Good.
Don't take the picture of the house dead on.
Yeah, there you go.
Angle.
Yeah. Because sometimes dead on, it's just human nature that we do that. But remember, composition in those anchor points. Statistics show that those anchor points, that's where people's eyes are drawn to. And though it's interesting with the studies that they've done, that people's eyes go to those anchor points more than the others. So it makes it just much more appealing.
I have a listing now that I just got.
Yeah.
And when I looked into MLS, the previous listing, it said it was a one-car detached garage. And I was like, where's the garage? And they took the picture dead on. So when I went out there, I took it at an angle so you can see the garage. And
so the first one didn't have it, and you got the garage in there.
I took it at an angle.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the garage? And when I took it the second, I took it at an angle. The other person took it dead on. So
really?
You're right.
Good.
Take it at an angle.
Just like anything else, what you'll find is the more that you do this, the more when you walk into the house, the outside, and you walk around, and before you start snapping, you start getting an idea. How do I want to compose this? Where do I want certain things and elements in the image to be? And take your time just to go ahead and take 5 minutes to walk around and to do that. And you'll find out that your image is going to be that much better by just taking that initial, rather than just running in, oh, I got to get this done, and I get to here, and you start snapping without really thinking about the composition and the light and then the technical. Inside tips. Lights on. All right? Okay? What else?
Don't get yourself in the mirror.
Pardon? Yeah. Yeah, don't lean up and, do the flash or whatever. That's just natural to happen, but it just does that.
How do you do those bathrooms? Difficult.
Yeah, the best way is if you can at all possible, avoid flash, number one. And number two, try to get the best angle you can, maybe get back into the doorway to try to get as much as possible. Try to do some vertical. That's another thing I didn't touch on really, but we could talk about. Take some vertical and take some horizontal shots. See sometimes what looks best in doing that. Always try to keep everything perpendicular. Like I said, when you're taking the image, especially in a smaller space, because anytime you tilt the lens forward or down or up, backwards, it's going to start distorting that image. So try to keep it all as parallel as you possibly can, that lens, to the image. Then from there, it's always a challenge, to get into post-processing to maybe straighten what we call the distortion or the barrel lines to make the perspective. But try to avoid flash. There's too many reflective things in a bathroom. And use a slower shutter speed and use a more wide open aperture if you're doing that. And then on the smartphone, it's just going to default to whatever for that.
So does it look better, you think, to be up high and take a picture down? I mean, you can't keep the thing perfect.
Yeah, you can try that. Sometimes what I've learned, it's very easy for all of us just to walk up and we're whatever height we are, we're just doing it this level. But it's really good sometimes to go ahead and maybe bring a step stool and maybe take it and shoot, a 3-foot step stool or whatever. And it just that extra couple feet really give it a different perspective than what most people are seeing.
But high is better than low?
Depends on the situation. Not in every case, but it does bring a different perspective to it. So I would encourage you to explore that and look at that. Because what's going to happen to all of you, the more that you do this, the more comfortable you're going to feel, and the more that the image is going to make sense to you and more appeal to you. Because then what you're going to find, and I even find this to this day, things that I shot 2 years ago I don't like as much as I do today. So I'm always learning. I don't know all the answers and stuff. And everybody, no matter what their craft is, the more you do something, the more comfortable you're going to feel, and the more appealing it's going to be. And then look at other appealing images. That's where I draw a lot of inspiration and stuff from. You could look at other people's sites. You could look at other MLS listings. Hey, what do I like about this? What do I don't like about this particular image? And now you have enough information to start controlling the light, start doing these things on your own to make better images.
There I found that shooting a swimming pool from a lower angle, more depth, it makes it look bigger.
Yeah, I like that's a good point.
Drop down just a little.
So in that one on the corner, so you would be the guy that'd be on the corner, like down on your knees, or?
Well, I got a adjustable lens.
Okay.
Viewfinder, so I can just kind of.
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, that's a very good point. So rule of thirds. All right, what are the rule of thirds? Do you remember? What are people's eyes drawn toward? The different anchor points. So be thinking about that when you're looking at the photographs. I mean, having those anchor points and putting something prominent in those particular anchor points. So I think even on some smartphones, don't they have a grid? I think yeah. So compact flashes, I think almost every one of them now have the little grid. You know, just go to your manual if it's not showing, because I think most of them do now have that, where you have that grid. So that helps you in the composition of composing those images. Auto, what does auto do if you have, not in your smartphone, but if you're on your compact flash like this or other, what does auto do? It thinks for you. Okay. Is that a good thing? Sometimes, right? Sometimes. See, even as good as technology is, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't always do that. Okay, program. What's program? Does everyone remember? Because not every camera has programs, so it may confuse some of you. It's just like auto, but it gives you some additional capabilities that you could talk about, the flash, shutter speed. You can change some things. So some of it's semi-automatic and some of it is manual. Aperture. What did we learn about aperture? It's the smaller the number, the more light it lets in, okay? So just remember that when you're shooting, if you're shooting on anything manual, you want to get brave enough to take it off of auto and you want to start being creative. Think when manual, you know, and some of them may already have a fixed aperture. Some cameras it may be 2.8. A lot of the compact flashes are typically around 2.8, which is a very fast, lets in a lot of light. But again, you're going to have to either raise the ISO, which adds noise into your image, which we didn't talk about. We won't want to do that. That's why I want to keep it low. And then a slower shutter speed so that we can get all that light in versus going outside where it's real bright and you don't need it as fast. And then shutter speed. Typically what we want to do on the inside for a home if we're doing on manual, not auto, and we're not using a smartphone. Slow it down a little bit. And how are you going to keep it from blurring? Hold still. Hold steady as best you can, right? And then blow it up in the LCD. Sometimes if we all taken images where we got it on the computer and it looks different, it happens a lot. That's just the technology. So, you know, blow it up the best you can. What I typically do on either one of the cameras, because I can do it on my compact flash or my digital SLR, I'll actually blow that image up all the way in to make sure, and I'll look all around the image to make sure that everything is pretty much in focus. Because that'll save you a trip from having to go all the way back out and do that again. So sharpness is absolutely critical. Please do not put out anything on the web that's not sharp. I mean, it's just not going to be good.